We are the entire about minimum Chefunya Swan yet. We are looking at the removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkornoo. I think as me by we've delved into the Article 146 of our Constitution, the process, and I think that when the prima facie was established, even minimum say common ground the free when the petition was sent. I remember even asking who even sent the petition. Any sign money in our bedroom this point, everyone the implications, anything. First, this question Anna in Nipanu Bibi Samia, I think says in the media landscape, me jidi se wo idea be pese benyamu nchremuye. Asia kunya se Chief Justice untimi ento aso as Chief Justice. But does that mean say untimi Justice of the Supreme Court and who submit to saying?
This is a very straightforward matter. As a constitution or say it's a president recommendation from the commission as a committee the president will issue a warrant. With a warrant and officially be communicated the removal and I heard warrant and it be determine the consequences and the implications of everything. Once our constitution is silence on entitlement or emolument. This is the warrant and also a mad those details. But fortunately, we have warrant when issue was stated a room say or removing first as Chief Justice, then second as Justice of the Supreme Court. It means we warrant now is this two. So it has been removed as one as Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana, then as Chief Justice of the Republic,
which is constitutional.
Yes, that is per the one. It's not as we never know. Most people are advocating say there should be clarity, and say there is a need for regulation to like effectuate or concretize the content of 146 in particular. So that there are certain fine details be or it will be clearer. The Constitution is silent on those ones, so it gives the president the leeway through the warrant to come out with the details. And warrant now, one or see we're removing as Chief Justice, then second we're removing as like I mentioned, Justice of the Supreme Court. Then let's go back to Article 146 which Article 146 now generally is for the removal of the Justice of the Superior Courts. And they call the Superior Courts now starting from Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, then the Regional Tribunal. For the removal of justices. You will free her as a judge, our Supreme Court. That is the essence of the whole 146. Now, so a drew CJ there. He says CJ number one, or a justice of the Supreme Court, and so number two, friends, CJ. So the whole thing is for you will free her as justice of the Supreme Court. So there's no debate or as to whether it affects this or that. The essence of Article 146 is you will free her as a judge. However, the entire Article 146 pays special attention to the CJ is the fact that CJ plays a dual role. One as the head of our judiciary, then second as an ordinary judge, ordinary used in context or in quotation marks.
Let's say Supreme Court judge.
But the more question really a bit interesting. And they say, what are the grounds for the removal now? Was it in relation to the function as Chief Justice, simpliciter, or as a judge of the Supreme Court, the Justice of the Supreme Court? Meaning, the entire idea idea no as a judge, and I say idea na as CJ. You say CJ, my big country say play dual role as head of the judiciary in terms of transferring of cases, in terms of welfare of the judiciary as a whole. Also, the chief executive officer of the judiciary.
And son and the core function
as a judge, So the entity just will free one. is it because of the CJ Jumano and a ye and I say who touch a mountain in a free hole and I say the judge Jumadi in a free hole? That is what is bringing these issues. Just that the clarity is that President they say we're in a free hole for the two, we're in for the two. So there is no debate. However, someone will take it to the Supreme Court for clarity or interpretation. That's what I say. And the OBI is entitled to do that.
Inclusive of Justice Torkornoo herself?
Anybody over Article 2.1 or say, who are obedience organizing, anybody at all can send matter to the Supreme Court for interpretation or enforcement of the Constitution. Anybody at all, including Torkornoo. You don't need to have interest in the matter. You don't need to have interest in the matter. The only requirement is that you must be a Ghanaian. It can even be a Ghanaian company. It can even be an ordinary citizen. So a person under that provision connotes artificial and natural person. The only requirement is that you ought to be a Ghanaian. That's the only requirement.
Until that is done, for now, she
has been removed from the two.
From the two, okay.
She has been removed from the two. It's very quite simple and straightforward. The warrant, has stated it in black and white.
I think it answers the Opemsuo me reading somewhere and I say convince the Chief Justice, and I think the person was being a bit partisan. Was convince the Chief Justice to remain on the Supreme Court bench. Win 2028, bring her back as CJ, and let's watch the show. I think now there will be no show to watch.
Yeah, just that all this process will wrong. As a country, we should look at it with a bit of soberness in the mood of reflection, because it's some huge implications on our entire democratic governance. When say CJ, no, it's not an ordinary position.
Yeah.
It's one of the arms of government too.
Makers, I think, say the Speaker of Parliament in New Horn or no need
which is the third in command. And beyond that, if you read Article 125 of our Constitution, or say about attentraining, that is justice, attentraining, now so you are more judicial or more exercise in for us. Do you get it? And the about attentraining CJ the custody of attentraining. And one institution, we don't need to play with it or toy with it. So usually matters now about out as the basis for the removal. One as a country, we need to really now we can go into it, or now we can dissect it. You get it? The question one will ask is that should this be a basis for a removal of a higher office like a CJ? Do you get it? And it's an open-ended question. It's an open-ended question. That is why, to me, I believe that we have to come out with a regulation so that we can sanitize. Because really, if this matter takes a partisan twist, you realize that we'll be debating. Say, okay, I will exert revenge later.
And you try and because we ask ourselves, where is this going to lead us to?
Yes, and you know, baby, I'm worried. I say you doubt the integrity of the whole process. We say we are equally doubting the integrity of the individuals that were appointed to oversee the entire exercise.
It will affect the judiciary as a whole.
Yes, and as you say, we to say justice, as you do, former Auditor General, those people, they are people you can toy with or play with their intelligence. And I say, or you can sit somewhere and control them like with remote control. Do you get it? We should at least respect them. We should respect them. So at least they've been given a job to do. They've done it to the best of their knowledge. One may have an issue, for instance, me personally, say, the law same be at do you know how may I see the whole thing as the fact that Mahama has used the law to remove the CG. Do you get it?
Yeah.
It's like Kofi has used the law to kill Ama. Do you get it? If you want to go into the legality of it, Kofi has killed Ama. And the killing is what? Lawful. On your body, but the question is, look at the moral aspect of it. Do you get it? Should Kofi had really, because of the fact that
was it necessary?
And I say because of the fact that law no more should Kofi have killed Ama? Do you get it? And that's an aspect we cannot debate. It's an aspect you cannot debate. And the good news is that if you read the warrant, they've given the grounds. The entire original decision, they've given some transfer be or also a transfer will be, and we believe that it was done unfairly. Then they said
putting in 3 or 4 those unlawful expenditure of public funds. The second one, abuse of discretionary power, and then interference.
For instance, the abuse of public person is in respect of travel expenditure of the bar and the husband.
Yeah, for some for better sense, also the committee held that the Chief Justice caused the Judicial Service to pay travel expenses for her husband and daughter during private holiday trips in 2023, including per diem allowances. This, the report stated, was unavoidable and reckless dissipation of public funds.
Good.
2023 to kwan or the new Kunin Manina Kahoma.
Good. So the question is, should this indeed be a basis for removal of a CJ of the Republic of Ghana? One would be of public finance, very, very serious. We say we need to set example. We need to set example that about state money, it ought not to be dissipated in any reckless manner. For that matter, for instance, though any good comparison, but I mean for the two Charlotte say, any example. Also, among the among others, the things on your line say were violating and I say we're breaching the procurement law. Do you get it? Because I say, okay, we should look for public finance serious, and for that matter, once the person breaching, or say sanction, and I say only there should be repercussions, and I say it's on in a manner the next person, it will serve as a deterrent to the next person. Do you get it? So these are matters we can debate, discuss, and talk about it without necessarily bastardizing the very institutions. We are there, so
okay.
You may agree, you may disagree,
and of course, if you disagree, you can go to court.
To that article 12 of our Constitution, 12.2,
you can go
saying that your fundamental human right now it has been guaranteed for you. The limits, fundamental human rights. So the fact that you are allowed to express your view, allow me to also express my view.
Exactly.
You may differ. However, somebody has been given a job to do, and the person has performed the function. You get it? You may have an issue with it. If you say, have an issue with how, unfortunately, President Mahama is not on the ticket in the next election. You get it? That is where accountability will come up. If you think what he did was good, fair enough. After all, Ghana form a mandate to perform, and he's performing his mandate according to the best of his ability, the knowledge, and what he thinks is right or what wrong. So President Mahama has not done anything like capricious or arbitrary or whatever. However, so also study the whole thing closely. Now, so before so overpower the certain utterances be making here. Before say to about certain utterances be making about the judiciary. This thing is happening. We will say, is it by accident, coincidence, or there is an element of bias? That is what that one will take you to Article 296A and the B. That talks about the fact that discretionary power to exercise it must be done in fairness and in a manner that is not capricious. That is not a result of personal dislike from me. You get it? So because this is a new path as a country we are charting.
We are having a precedent.
Yes, and the thing is that posterity may judge it kindly or otherwise.
Only time will tell.
That is it. Now the emotions are involved, partisanness is involved, friends saying parochialness will be our interest as to where the matter ought to have gone, where the matter ought not. At the end of the day, we have a country to what whose interests we are supposed to push. So if this will help Ghana, let it be. Just that we all pray that there will be sanity in the system. Good. And the fact that maybe there's ill will or affection as to how the power was. At the end of the day, the person has gone through the procedure from step 1 to the last step.
Finally, before now she cannot be a judge of the Supreme Court or the Superior Court and also no more leading the judiciary. Does she forfeit her entitlements?
That is one thing that the warrant was conspicuously silent about. Warrant now, silent about that. That is why, to me, and I'm repeating myself, that we need that regulation. We need that CI, to govern the removal process. So it brings about predictability and clarity.
Takes away those ambiguity in a room.
And out here, one of the basic tenets of our constitution is the rule of law. Rule of law is one of the pillars of our constitution. And the rule of law dictates, among others, that the law must be what? Clear and predictable. So I don't know, from the one we didn't know how the matter will go. Certainty of the law. Do you get it? One of the key pillars of our constitution. That is why some people were making the argument that because President Mahama, in the course of exercising this particular power, there was an element of discretion in there, and for that matter, there ought to have been a regulation, because we have 2961. I will say, if you are not a judge or a judicial officer and you exercise discretionary power, there ought to be a regulation. So that you not do things according to your own whims and caprices. And as with say we come to say, we should be in Franco, to say Mr. Boachia obey differently, Nicholas obey differently, Collins obey differently. Do you get it? See that we all know say, there is an objective standard. That is there.
I think the okay say people wouldn't have asked whether she can still be a judge of the Supreme Court.
It brings closer to everything. And I don't know, it reduces the needless partisan politics aspect of it. It's as if say Torkornoo was an MPP person. And because of that they are moving. Torkornoo was there not because as part of the qualification to go to the Supreme Court, partisan affiliation is not one of them. And one thing is that you may be an MPP person. So far as on merit you qualify to enter the Supreme Court, you should go.
Before you go, maybe on merit, as you said, and maybe you can choose to talk about it or not. But I read it somewhere. We say Paul Bafuboni will be elevated from acting to main CJ. He retires next year for poor man, leader of the committee that pronounced Chief Justice Torkornoo guilty to take over from him. We are watching.
These are people's speculative or what we call conspiracy theory. We do get it. However, about CECJ, who becomes the next CJ? The answer is quite clear. Someone has been given the power to exercise. It's President Mahama. If President Mahama, by accident or by calculated means, say appoint Bafuboni, the question is, you see the qualification. There's also omitting some of the constitutional offense qualification.
Yeah.
Once the person meets it, whether it is Yoli Kolendi, whether it is Asari, whether it is Bafuboni, whether it is Poamai, so far as the person who has nominated him for such an office is the right person to exercise that power. But the Wakabiano is just your view, and you're entitled to it. However, you're never be coming near dance here. In a way, it amounts to trying to doubt the integrity of people. And I say, only up close and personal. Do you get it? Only Bafuboni up close and personal. For all you know, he's against all that is happening, but he must be professional and do the duty. Do you get it? The point I'm going to make is that he may have his personal view about all what is happening.
As a matter of Najuman Oye.
And once the person we shouldn't be like inputting certain needless.
We shouldn't be thinking for them, speaking for them. Yeah.
We may have our view about how we be an Najuman. That is why I didn't know. Do you get it? So if you say, oh, the rules are not clear, I must talk to your MPs. They are there to change the law. After all, certain things can even come to the entire population for us to make a determination on it. Yeah, then I but this particular constitutional arrangement for ourselves in 1993. So once you really the power will be so exercise, so now we are coming to input area. You get it? Me personally, I believe that the whole exercise was needless.
Exactly.
Personally, that's my personal view.
But it doesn't also mean it
doesn't mean that
it's not lawful.
Yes, and I'm saying that even the fact that I think that it's needless, it doesn't mean that the person who exercises the power has not done the right thing. He has done the right thing. It's my personal view. It's my personal view. Do you get it? However, somebody may also have a view that for instance, when this president was campaigning, among the things also is to what do away with corruption and amibwa.
Yeah.
So someone who wants to do away with corruption, that's what they do this sort of practices. IAC fees and also Ghana, and this sort of behavior is not one among some of them he wants to entertain. And for that matter, once that happens, or clear every table also once and for all. Do you get it? Just that so certain things will come and hit your face. You say, oh, okay, this is not the same government that certain people that has been accused of corrupt practices, the has turned into a clearing officer, clearing them by heart. So is it not contradictory? But the question is, does he have the power to do what he has done? He has it. Do you get it? And as we do, we can all express our individual views. But at the end of the day, Mahama has used the law to perform the duty he has been given to perform, among others. It's as simple as that.